I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Me, the Art of Starting Again, with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. So, in episode 178, I talked about identity and choosing a different character, like really stepping into the power of deciding who you want to be. Surprisingly, that episode sparked a lot of messages from people asking me to go a little deeper into the subconscious mind. So I was like, okay, I got y'all. So you ask, I listen. And I even went ahead and recorded this and bumped it like 3 or 4 episodes ahead so you wouldn't have to wait. All right. So if this is your first time hearing me talk about the subconscious mind, welcome. You're going to get a full picture today. And if you listen to that episode, you're going to hear some things repeated, but this time I'm going to tie it all together and go a little bit deeper. So here's the thing, your subconscious mind runs about 95% of your daily life. Your conscious mind, the part you think of as you, the decision maker, is only about 5%. Now I want you to think about that for a second. The subconscious mind runs about 95% of your daily life. Your conscious mind, the decision maker that you believe, is only about 5%. So that means most of what you do, how you react, the patterns you repeat, they're all being run on autopilot by the subconscious mind. And it doesn't reason, it doesn't debate, and it darn sure don't ask you if something is good or bad. It simply records experiences and feelings and then plays them back like a loop. And here's the kicker. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between real or imagined. So whatever is repeated enough times, whether that's through experience, environment, or visualization, becomes truth to the subconscious mind. So from the time that we are in our mother's womb until around 7 or 8, our brain is in what's called a theta state, THETA. And that's a very slow, impressionable brain wave. And this is why kids seem like little sponges. So I know you've heard people say, like, oh, kids are such sponges, they absorb everything, because they do. At that stage, the subconscious mind is wide open and beliefs are just being absorbed and programmed, but without filters. So that means that your idea about love, about money, safety, worthiness, all of that was downloaded before you were even old enough to analyze it. So, story time. So, for me, I did not know my dad. My dad was not in my life until I was 14, and then he died at 16. And then for early part of my much of my life, I was raised with my grandmother, so my mom wasn't fully there. So what ended up happening for me as I continued to get older, I would keep people at a distance because you already taught the two most important people in your life is your mother and your father, and if they're not in your life, then what the heck? What's wrong with you? Is anybody else going to love you? So you know what? I'm going to keep people at a distance and not allow you to be close enough to me to hurt me. And this is what the subconscious mind was doing, was like, look, I know how you felt when you were young. I know the wound that was created, the mother wound, the father wound, the abandoned wound, the unworthy wound, whatever the wound is, and you can have more than one, unfortunately. Your subconscious mind is like, I want to protect you from that. I want to make sure that you don't feel like that again. And that was why I would keep people at a distance. So now I don't share that for anyone to blame their parents. Most parents really were just doing the best that they could with what they knew and with the resources they had. But the reality is, as a child, we don't think like that. A 5-year-old doesn't say, oh, mom is really stressed. And that's why she talked to me like that, because she's working 2 jobs just to keep us afloat. No, the child doesn't think that. What the child thinks is, maybe I'm not worthy of attention. Maybe I need to work harder to be loved. Does that sound familiar or feel familiar? And because our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that handles reasoning and impulse control, that thing doesn't even fully mature until around the age of 25. So we literally don't have the capacity to see things through a logical adult lens in childhood. So what we felt becomes what we believe. So think of it like this. I want you to imagine you're walking with a little kid near a busy street. Every time a car passes, you grab their hand tightly. And even when the road is clear, you don't even see nothing. You're still holding their hand and pulling them back from the curb. Why? Because you remember how dangerous it could be. That is your subconscious mind. It remembers how you felt when you were 5, when you were rejected at 9, when you failed yesterday. So its job is to protect you from ever feeling that way again. So when you want to step into a new opportunity, when you want to love again, when you're rebuilding after loss, it might snatch you back with procrastination, self sabotage, doubt. It thinks it's keeping you safe, but often it's holding you back from crossing the street into a new chapter of your life. So if you've been through divorce, loss, bankruptcy, health struggles, etc., or you're just tired of who you've been, you are in a season of rebuilding. And rebuilding requires not just changing your conscious goals, remember that 5%, but reprogramming the subconscious loops that keep dragging you back. And that starts with awareness. So, like I always like to say, if you want to understand who you are and why you do the things you do, you better go back and revisit that childhood. Now, we're not doing that to sit and blame. We're adults now, right? And we're responsible for, what we do and our healing, and even recognizing if we even need healing and any of that stuff, right? So we're simply revisiting the childhood so we can trace the roots of the patterns. And when you see that, you can begin to start to thank your subconscious for trying to keep you safe and then lovingly redirect it. It's like let's go back to holding the kid's hand, right? So it's like you're the kid and you're like, "Hey, I know you're holding me back from crossing the street, but I can see the road now and I'm safe to move forward." And here's where the nervous system comes in. I know you've been probably hearing a lot of people talk about your nervous system being fried, right? So every belief that formed in childhood wasn't just a thought, it came with a body sensation, fear, tightness, heart racing, shutting down. So when the subconscious mind replays an old loop, your body feels the same way it did back then. That's why change can feel unsafe, even if logically you know it's good. So, rebuilding means teaching your body new safety signals while reprogramming the mind. So, with me being your practical spiritual guide, let me give you some practical tips for rebuilding with the subconscious mind. So, how do you start? Here we go. One, repetition and visualization. Why was I actually like I was about to start stuttering, Lordy? All right. Remember, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So you can use affirmations, visualization, and repetition to install the identity of the person that you're becoming. So I always like to tell people there's just two ways to reprogram the mind. One is through hypnosis, and two is through repetition, right? So we want to repeat it over and over and over and over so it could pierce the subconscious and it believes it. And once it believes it, it's going to start to, everything around you is going to start to support that belief. That's why when you are having a bad day or something happens and then something else happens, you're like, see what I mean? It's always something. Well, you just validated that belief. And now the universe is like, I got you, girl. You think it's always something? Watch what happens next. And then boom, all these other things start to happen to support that belief. So if you want to say, it is safe for me to move forward, I feel safe in my body, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly and daily, right? Or I deserve or I desire, blah, 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 feeling whatever, it is for you. You keep saying it over and over and over. Again, subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. Oh, okay. It may feel weird, it may feel uncomfortable, but the more you keep doing it, then you're starting to pierce that subconscious mind. And now you are creating a new belief, and now you're going to get all the support around that belief. So the second is to revisit and reframe childhood stories. So journal about a moment that shaped you. You can ask, like, what did I make this mean about me, and what is actually true now? So, like, when you go back and you say like, oh, I remember this particular thing happening when I was a kid, and it just showed that my mom didn't love me. Now you're going to write that and you're going to say, but is that actually true? Oh, it's true. Well, okay, now show me evidence. So now you're going to write, do you have evidence to show that it is true? And then when you start thinking about it, you're like, no. Oh, so it's not true. That's not an actual belief that you feel is going to help you evolve or whatever the case may be. So you want to now invalidate that belief, or you want to validate that belief and go back in and just be able to change whatever it is, that story that you made it about you. Or if you've ever had like, you were made fun of when you were a kid, people were like laughing at you of something that you said and they felt like it didn't make any sense, and then you go back and you revisit that and say, well, did you not make any sense? And you're like, I made sense. Okay, you made sense to you. There wasn't that laughing and all that stuff. Yes, you took it personal. Yes, they were laughing at you, but that was more so about them, right? And then when we get older, we start to see this thing. So you see what I'm saying, right? Trace back those childhood memories, and then I want you to say, is this true? Like, what did I make this mean about me? And is this true? And if you say, yeah, it is true, what's the proof? What's the proof? Let's get to the nitty gritty of it. And where did you get that, though, that truth, that yes, that is true? Who did it come from? Because you heard other people saying it? You better keep unpacking it, unpacking it, and unpacking it. The third thing, body-based practices. So this is when fear or sabotage starts to show up. I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. I want you to place your hand on your heart and say, I am safe to experience this. Thank you for protecting me, but I've got it now, right? So it's like, oh, here's one for me. Speaking in front of people, yo, like my heart would start racing so fast, and I'm playing it in my head. Um, I'm Tisha, and I da da da. Like I gotta practice to tell them who I am. What sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense. But I would feel it in my stomach. I would feel it in my chest, and I was about to just like walk out or be like whatever. My subconscious mind wanted to do anything but was going to do any and everything to protect me from feeling like I may have felt before, which is why I don't want to speak in public or in front of people. That really started that part as a older age was in college, when you have to go around and you have to introduce yourself. Why? I don't want to be friends with these people. Let me just do my work. But my body was literally just feeling it, right? And I didn't know where that was coming from. I didn't think or know to go back to my childhood and see if there was a story where, someone laughed at me or made fun of me in that sense, and I took that on and I vowed to not feel like that again so I wouldn't face anything. So before I got to that point, what I then started to do was saying, "You're good. You all right? This ain't about to kill you. You good." Now I want you guys to say, I'm safe to experience this. Thank you for protecting me, but I've got it now. I was like, you're good. What is the problem? You're about to talk about you. You don't have to, it's not rocket science. It's just saying who you are and what you hope to get out of this thing or whatever the case is, right? So, those are things that I didn't like volunteer for, and always made me feel uncomfortable. And then when my awakening happened, I went into this store in Virginia, and it was a store where she had local people, local artists and people who just made different things, and she would just sell them on consignment. And in typical Tisha fashion, I'm just talking, and at this point, God's speaking through me, and I'm having a great conversation with the owner. And then she turns around and she's like, so I do this thing where once a month I have somebody come in and on a topic and they speak. She was like, I'm really loving your vibe, and what you were just talking about I think would go so well with this month's topic. And it was about being authentic. I was like, God, I see you, because that was what was sparking for me when my awakening happened. So I was like, sure. Now, heart racing, because I gotta get up in here and I gotta talk in front of the people and even in an intimate space. Oh my gosh. But I said yes, and I'm gonna honor my word, right? But I felt it everywhere in my body, right? Everywhere in my body. And now the time has come, and my subconscious mind wanted me to get out of this. And I thought of every possible thing to cancel on this and not do it. But every time I went to go do it, I'd get a message like, here's the flyer. I hope you like it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she done told everybody, in this thing. So I was like, oh man. I was like, you know what? You got this. It's fine. It's fine. You got this. It is what it is. So I had to like talk to my subconscious and say, like, it's safe. It's fine. You're just vibing, blah, blah, blah. And it was great, guys. It was great. Like, it was so intimate. I want to say it was like, because it was in her shop, and I even got to like sit in this like cool, like little chair and just like vibe out. And I want to say it might have been like 12 people. It might have been like 12 people, and they wanted to hear what I had to say. So I did it nervous. I talked myself through it. And that's when you're facing like that fear, or when you're about to sabotage something, you'll then start to see, wait a minute. This really ain't that scary. And it really ain't that scary after all. So yeah. All right, the next one, micro rebuild. So instead of overhauling like your life overnight, rebuild one choice at a time. So every time you show up, your subconscious mind um every time you show your subconscious mind you're safe in that new action, and then it starts to like relax a little bit. So like now when it comes to like speaking in front of people and going to do this, I can't say that I don't sometimes feel maybe a little nervous. It might be maybe like the setting or something, but I've come to realize that it's all just energy, and it's up to me how I channel that energy. So the energy of being nervous and the energy of exciting is the same thing, but I'm redirecting it because that energy is neutral until I give it a path. So if I start to feel a certain way, it's like, oh, I'm nervous, I don't know if I should do this. Let me talk myself out of it. Or I'm so hyped to get up here and talk about this because I could talk about this topic all day long. It's the same energy. It's neutral until you direct it where it goes. So sometimes I will catch myself and then I'll be like, girl, you Tisha Michelle, you got this. Let's go. And then boom, it's over with. Like, because you're constantly reminding yourself, but you have to keep reprogram it by changing these beliefs now. So if the subconscious wants to protect you from that, you have to know, like, I got this. I'm going to face this thing and watch. It's not that scary. So then it'll be like, all right, all right. So I guess I can kind of, release you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, anyhow, so rebuilding, it's not just about starting fresh on the outside, it's about rewiring the inside. It's about partnering. That's a good way. It's about partnering with your subconscious mind instead of being held back by, like, hey, we are equals, we're gonna partner on this thing right here, right? 'Cause sometimes something might be a little scary, I might need a little protection, so I'm gonna keep I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna put a little bumpers around it and all. And this is why that self-awareness is so important. So yeah. So as you navigate your own season of starting again, whether that's from heartbreak, financial, or just knowing that this version of me ain't it no more, I want you to remember this. Your subconscious mind has been holding the pen to your story, but you always have the choice to pick it up and write a new chapter. And that is the power that you hold within you. So, before I wrap this up, I want to say this. If this conversation about the subconscious mind fascinates you and you'd like to actually learn how to work with it on a deeper level, just know your girl offers a little hypnosis training over here. I don't have it all the way, out there for everyone. But I am going to bring this back for you guys if that's something that you're looking for. So some people have taken this course with me because they wanted tools for themselves or to help their kids and their family. And then others took it because they wanted to help other people and actually start business with it. And I love seeing my students. They're so dope. They're so dope. But either way, it gives you practical, powerful ways to reprogram the subconscious mind, yours and other people. So if that is something that was sparked in you, I invite you to check it out. So if you have some questions or you actually want to schedule a call, shoot me an email, tishamichelleofficial@gmail.com, or you can go to www.tishamichelleofficial.com and you can click the link in there that says subconscious mind training, and you can get some information from there. But yeah, there you go, guys. Until next time, bye. Thank you for tuning in to Rebuilding Me, the sacred art of starting again. If this episode spoke to your soul, be sure to subscribe, leave me a review, and most importantly, share it with someone who's on their own journey of remembering who they are. And just know, you're not alone, and you never have to start from scratch. You're starting again, but this time with wisdom. Until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and trust your rebuild. And if you need help navigating this journey, make sure to visit www.tishamichelleofficial.com and book a sacred reset session.